Yes, and welcome to Just for Clicks. I am Michael Buckhatcher, the king of the king of the trolls, the king of all kings. Today we have a special college football pick'em Saturday edition. We did a Friday edition because we had a bunch of games on Friday, but today we're back on Saturday. We got some great games, some more rivalry games that are happening here, and we're going to go ahead and jump right on into it, guys. And we're going to have to start it right up at the top here. We have number 4 Michigan at number 10 Ohio State. This is the game that's been hyping up for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. The winner does get a berth into the Big Ten championship game. I'm not for sure who they would play. It's probably like Northwestern or something like that. It doesn't really matter. Whoever wins this game will win the Big Ten at the end of the day. But I've been kind of going back and forth on this game. Jim Harbaugh has never beaten Ohio State as a coach. Ohio State is not looking that great either. But when you travel to Ohio State, you have to think about those fans. You have to think about that atmosphere that is going to be taking place there, and especially a noon kickoff. Those fans are going to be so hyped for this one. Michigan is averaging 36 points a game. Ohio State is averaging 41 points a game. Just the last 5 games here. Michigan has played number 15 Wisconsin, number 24 Michigan State, and number 14 Penn State, all beating them handily, and then also beating Rutgers and Indiana as well. Going back to Ohio State here. They have won 4 of their last 5, losing Purdue bad, that 49-20 loss, and everybody's been on the Purdue train since then. Struggled against Nebraska, then they did beat a number 18 Michigan State team, and then they struggled against a Maryland team. The only reason why I think they won that game was because Maryland did go for 2 in that overtime, and they failed to make it. So giving the Ohio State Buckeyes a 52-41 win, or to a 52-51 win there. And I really have never bought into this Michigan or the Big 12 train in general. For all year, I thought that Michigan was basically going to play their way out of the college football game here, and I think that Ohio State is going to beat Michigan and keep their winning ways against Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. I believe the last five or six years here. I like Ohio State at home, even though they aren't playing their best football as of late. But in a rivalry game, no matter if you're 0-12 or 10-0. You are going to get the best shot from the other team, and I just think Ohio State gets it on this one. Moving on to the next rivalry game at 12 o'clock on Saturday here, you have Georgia Tech at number 5 Georgia. Georgia has locked up a berth into the SEC championship game, going on 4 or 5 weeks ago when they beat Kentucky. I just think Georgia has too much firepower. Georgia Tech doesn't have a chance in this one, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. Next up, you have number 11 Florida at Florida State. If you guys have listened to RTF Sports Talk any this week, Billy Hatton is high on his Florida State Seminoles. They have made it to 36 straight bowl games in the last 36 years, obviously, and this is a must win for them to get that 37th consecutive bowl berth. Florida Gators are 8-3 on this season, winning the last 3 of their last five games. However, they did lose to Missouri. They did lose to number 7 Georgia as well. Florida State is coming off a big upset win, as I called, versus Boston College, 22-21. But they're also coming off of slackings from Notre Dame and NC State, also as Clemson as well. So looking back at this Florida State schedule here, they played 4 top 25 of 5 opponents in the last five weeks. Florida has had kind of easy, even though Missouri is no slouch. But like I said, rivalry games you will always get the other team's best shot. Florida traveling to Florida State. I just don't like Florida in this game. I think they are going to kind of take this game for granted. They're seeing Florida State at 5-6 record. They are 7-3 at this point, looking to improve their stock in postseason play here. I like Florida State on this one. It's going to be a very close game. It's going to be ugly as well. 24-21 final there. Next up, we have number 20 Syracuse at Boston College. Boston College coming off that big upset loss versus Florida State, like we just talked about here. So I think they're going to come out. They're going to be pissed off. Syracuse is ranked number 20th in the nation here, but don't buy into that poll. Do not buy into that stock. I think Syracuse is a very overrated team. They just happen to be in a bad conference to get a lot of easy wins. Like I think, give me Boston College in this one by 10 to 12 points. Oh, right here. Moving on to the next game here, we have Baylor versus Texas Tech. You just never know what Baylor team's going to show up. Give me Texas Tech. This game is a pretty non-meaningful game here in the terms of standings or postseason play. Both teams are eligible for postseason play here. I think they're pretty much locked up where they're at. So give me Texas Tech on this one. Next up, we have Purdue at Indiana. Indiana is just one of those teams that this is what they got. They won't give you any more, any less. Purdue stepped up huge against Ohio State. Ever since then, they kind of been treading water here. They did beat a number 16 Iowa team a couple weeks ago, but then they lost to Minnesota and then they lost to Wisconsin in 3 overtimes last week. This Rondell Moore kid for Purdue, he is something special. He has 91 receptions on the year for almost 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns. But these interstate games they're very intriguing to watch. Give me Indiana in this one. I want to say it's probably going to be an upset because everybody is picking Purdue here. Everybody that I talked to is on this Purdue train. But give me Indiana. I think they have something to prove here. They become bowl eligible with this win. So give me Indiana. Next up, you had the Iron Bowl, Auburn versus Alabama. Give me Alabama. There's no contest here. Alabama is just a force that isn't going to be derailed anytime soon. Moving on to the Pac-12, you have Stanford at UCLA. This game is kind of intriguing, simply because of the fact that Stanford is that team that when they're clicking on all cylinders, they push a team like Washington State to the break. They push a team like Utah to the break. But when they're not on all cylinders, they are getting beat by a team such as they lost to Washington two weeks ago. They are definitely a battle-tested team, and I really like seeing that. Looking at their schedule, like at the past, they did beat a USC team that was at the time was ranked 17. They beat a ranked 20th Oregon team. They did push a number 8 Notre Dame team at the time, and as we know now, Notre Dame is a very special team. They are ranked three in the college football playoff rankings right now. They did push a number 10 Washington State team to the brink. And then UCLA, they're just they are a tough team to understand. Very tough team to understand. They get, they get blown out by Utah. They get blown out by Oregon. They get blown out by Arizona. But then they come back and they blow out Cal. They blow out Arizona. They blow out USC. So you never know, like, what they're really going to offer you. But at the same time, you know what Stanford is going to bring to the table. Even if Stanford is misfiring like they've been shown to do, they will still have a pretty good game. So give me Stanford and this one by 12 points. 12 points, I said. Maryland versus Penn State. I am on record saying that I hope Maryland loses every game by double digits from here on out. So I got to go with number 12, Penn State, even though Maryland did take Ohio State to the brink last week, only losing because they did fail on that 2-point conversion in overtime. But give me Penn State. I like them. Hopefully they wear that all white. I really dig that all white. Still in the Big Ten here, you have Illinois at number 19, Northwestern. Northwestern is a very powerful, strong team. They are currently slated to play the Citrus Bowl versus my Kentucky Wildcats here. So I'm going to be tuning into this game on the Big Ten now here, just to see if Northwestern is as advertised. So I am going to pick Northwestern in this game. Moving on. Here we got number 24, Pittsburgh at Miami. Give me the U. When the U is at home, and I've been picking them. So far, when I picked the U this year, I am 5-0. So just keep that in mind. So number 24, Pittsburgh traveling to the U. Give me the U. Next up, we have Arizona State at Arizona. I'm going to pick Arizona State on the road to beat the Wildcats here. Back to the Big Ten here, we have Minnesota at Wisconsin. Give me Wisconsin. I like what they have to offer. What they are 7-4 on the season, while Minnesota is 5-6. Minnesota's going to come out obviously guns a-blazing, trying to get that final win to get into the bowl bids here. But I think Wisconsin just has too much to handle for them today. Or tomorrow, Saturday, I should say. Next up, we have Tennessee at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is very strong at home. They pushed the Kentucky Wildcats. All they wanted and plus some at that game. Tennessee coming off a horrible loss versus Missouri. This is going to be a very, very fun game to watch. Interstate rivalry here. Nashville to Knoxville is only about an hour drive, but I like Vanderbilt on this one. Give me Vanderbilt by 7. South Carolina at number 2. Clemson, the ESPN primetime game. Give me Clemson. Number 15 at Louisville. Louisville sucks. Give me the Wildcats by 30 at least. Jumping over to the Big 12 here, you have my Kansas State Wildcats at Iowa State, number 25. This game is on FS1. Pretty excited about that. I get to see my Cats play in a game here. Kansas State just isn't as they once were in previous years. We are fighting for that final win to become bowl eligible, as Iowa State is sitting at 6-4. Iowa State coming off that tough loss versus Texas last week, but as Kansas State is kind of trending, they do have a 2-win game under the belt, but coming from the likes of KU and Texas Tech. As much as I hate to say this, no, you know what, guys, this is going to be the this will be the upset special. Give me the Kansas State Wildcats. Give them to me. Pac-12 action. Colorado at Cal. Colorado sucks right now. They fired their coach. I think they lost 5 or 6 in a row. Give me Cal. Back to the SEC, number 7 LSU at Texas A&M. It's Texas A&M is a tough place to play. Home of the 12th man. LSU. I don't know. Give me Texas Tech or Texas A&M. I'm sorry. Another upset. Another rivalry game here we have up on deck. Number 3 Notre Dame at USC. I don't see any reason why Notre Dame should stumble against this game, but it is a rivalry game. Still, give me Notre Dame. Back to the Big 12, Oklahoma State at TCU. Give me Oklahoma State. I like what they're doing. Their offense can't be stopped. TCU is a mediocre team this season. BYU at number 17, Utah. Give me the Utes. This is a late game, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1. So I will definitely be catching at least the first half of it. So give me Utah. I'm kind of intrigued to watch that tailback play. Final game of the Pick'em Saturday. You have number 21 Utah State versus number 23 Boise State. This is a 10:15 kickoff. This is why a lot of people do not like West Coast games. I mean, a 10:15 kickoff on the East Coast here. So that means this game probably not going to get done till 1 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I know it's 6-7 o'clock there in Boise or in Idaho, but it's probably a 7:15 kickoff. I'm not for sure if they're Mountain or West Coast time, but nonetheless, I'm not going to be able to watch this game. I'm going to have to turn on SportsCenter in the morning and catch it on. But both these teams are trending up. Both 5-0 in their last games. Winning pretty soundly on all of them. I'm going to have to go with Boise State on the blue turf, though. The Utah State Aggies are 10-1, 7-0 in conference. I like Boise State. I know from experience that blue turf is hard to play on. So Boise State. Just.